Have you ever wondered why we haven't seen a Grown Ups 3 yet? In a world of blockbuster franchises and sequels, the Grown Ups movies, starring Adam Sandler and his crew of comedy buddies, have carved out a unique niche. They're not about complex plots or mind-bending twists, but rather, they're all about the easygoing vibes and camaraderie of a group of lifelong friends. In this exploration, we'll dive into the world of Grown Ups and what the future holds for this beloved comedy franchise. Now, first of all, let me tell you why isn't Grown Ups 3 happened yet.
Oh, easy.
What's going on?
Rob got attacked by an Indian.
Yeah, but then he got away.
What? Got attacked by an Indian? Daddy, what happened?
Amber.
Even if Adam Sandler and his collaborators, Tim Herlihy and Fred Wolf, were to brainstorm a fantastic concept for a third Grown Ups movie more than 10 years after the last one, they could run into difficulties due to rights and distribution issues. Here's the deal. Sandler's production company, Happy Madison Productions, created Grown Ups and Grown Ups 2, but these films were distributed by Columbia Pictures, a subsidiary of Sony Pictures Entertainment. Consequently, Sony and Columbia hold the rights to these movies. After the release of Grown Ups 2 in 2013, Sandler and Happy Madison struck an exclusive deal with Netflix to produce films. This agreement was renewed in 2017 and 2020. Given that Sony and Columbia own the Grown Ups franchise and Sandler is closely associated with rival Netflix, untangling the rights would be a complex and costly process. Not only does this pose a challenging business arrangement for Sandler, but he's also kept himself quite occupied with Netflix, having both acted in and produced 8 films over the past 5 years. As a result, he may not have the time or motivation to revisit the Grown Ups universe. With that, let's talk about what the cast and crew have said about Grown Ups 3. Whenever the cast of Grown Ups hits the press circuit, one question inevitably pops up. Will there be a third installment in the comedy series? While most of the actors are open to the idea, they're cautiously optimistic. Nick Swartzen, who played Nick in Grown Ups 2, gave some insight on The Rich Eisen Show in 2020. He mentioned that Adam Sandler had discussed the possibility, and there was even another script floating around, although it hadn't received the green light. Maria Bello, who portrayed Sally Lamonsoff, doesn't sound overly optimistic about the sequel's chances. She remarked to Flickering Myth, "People have talked about it, and we've heard it might happen, but I don't know if there is a script. I don't know what there is. But I hope so because, boy, it's fun to work with those guys." Salma Hayek, who played Roxanne Chase Feder, had a great time working on the Grown Ups films, but she's not entirely convinced that a third one is in the cards. During a press junket in 2017, she mentioned that there had been some discussions, but the details remained hazy. Interestingly, her daughter is a big fan of the idea and has been urging her to push for a third film. The appeal? Getting back on set with the Sandlers and the rest of the cast for another fun-filled adventure. As for Dennis Dugan, the director behind 8 Sandler movies, including both Grown Ups films, it seems unlikely that he'll take the helm for Grown Ups 3. He shared his uncertainty with The Hollywood Reporter in 2015, acknowledging that there had been talk of another sequel, but unsure of its status. Dugan often collaborates with Sandler on project ideas, so he's probably kept in the loop, but the future of Grown Ups 3 remains uncertain. Now, let's explore what Grown Ups 3 could potentially bring to the table. In 2019, while Adam Sandler was basking in Oscar buzz for his role in the thriller Uncut Gems, he made a lighthearted promise on The Howard Stern Show. He declared that if he didn't receive an Oscar nomination, he'd return with a deliberately bad movie just to have a bit of fun at everyone's expense. Since Sandler didn't secure that Oscar nod, there's some playful speculation, especially by Entertainment Weekly, that we might see Grown Ups 3 Fart Camp. But all jests aside, it's likely that the cast and crew of Grown Ups 3 would stick to the formula that worked wonders in the first 2 films. Expect a movie where Adam Sandler, Kevin James, Chris Rock, Rob Schneider, and David Spade continue their gentle lament about the challenges of aging. This time, they'd probably embark on another elaborate group vacation, bringing their supportive families along for the ride. While cabins and water parks have been the backdrop in the past, this adventure could lead them to a new low-key yet entertaining vacation spot. So, Grown Ups 3 would likely serve up more of the same delightful camaraderie and humor that fans have come to love. When the question of a potential plot for a follow-up film came up, Adam Sandler, David Spade, and Kevin James decided to have a bit of fun with their responses. During a promotional interview for Grown Ups 2 with Hey You Guys, Spade chimed in with a lighthearted quip, saying Grown Ups 3 will be just the scenes we cut out of this one. Now, let's discuss who will put this plot on the big screen, the stars in Grown Ups 3. When it comes to the movies he writes, produces, and stars in, Adam Sandler has a penchant for filling the cast with longtime collaborators, friends and colleagues he's known for as long as 3 decades. This preference is especially evident in the Grown Ups films. The original Grown Ups and its sequel Grown Ups 2 featured a notable presence of Saturday Night Live stars, including those from Sandler's era and subsequent ones, along with actors who had previously collaborated with Sandler. If Grown Ups 3 were to receive the green light, it's highly likely that many of these familiar Sandler regulars would return to reprise their roles as part of the close-knit group of friends and their extended families. For instance, David Spade, who portrayed Marcus Higgins, has expressed his enthusiasm for another installment. During an appearance on the Literally with Rob Lowe podcast, Spade shared his thoughts, saying, "That movie was like a good, family-friendly, not too risque, funny movie, and the second one as well. So I think we should definitely do another like that." The chances are quite promising that we'd see the likes of Chris Rock, Kevin James, Nick Swartzen, and Maya Rudolph returning for Grown Ups 3. These actors have been integral parts of the Grown Ups ensemble, and given their past collaborations with Sandler, it's highly likely they'd be on board for another round of fun. Furthermore, fans of the series would likely hope to see Rob Schneider reprise his role as Rob Hilliard in the 3rd installment. Schneider missed out on Grown Ups 2 due to conflicts involving scheduling and pay. However, he did make a return to the Sandlerverse in titles like Hubie Halloween, suggesting that he'd be inclined to return as Rob if Grown Ups 3 were to materialize. While there's no concrete evidence of a fully sanctioned, feature-length follow-up to the existing Grown Ups movies happening in the near future, there have been playful attempts by parties outside Adam Sandler's network to stir the pot, even if it's all in good fun. Comedian Tom Sharpling, better known for hosting the cult favorite radio program The Best Show and his work on What We Do in the Shadows, decided to take matters into his own hands by crafting an unsolicited screenplay of Grown Ups 3. In 2020, he shared his creation online, and it quickly went viral. His script takes a self-referential approach, blending Adam Sandler's trademark broad comedy with his more critically acclaimed works. In this imaginative tale, the Grown Ups cast plays exaggerated versions of themselves while filming a Grown Ups sequel, all while being pursued by a serial killer. Interestingly, the essence of Grown Ups and its sequel is about Sandler and his friends enjoying each other's company, many of whom he's known since their Saturday Night Live days in the early 1990s. While Grown Ups 3 hasn't yet made it to the big screen, the core cast has united in various movies, often carrying the same playful and fun-loving spirit that characterized the Grown Ups films. These projects include Pixels, the Hotel Transylvania series, The Ridiculous Six, and Hubie Halloween. Well, that's it for today. Make sure that you like and subscribe to our channel for more amazing videos. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section. Thanks for watching the video. We'll see you at the next one.